The first international break of the season is just finalised, and although we've missed club football, it's been interesting to say the least. As always, if you enjoy this podcast, support us with a subscription, and don't forget to check out our other platforms. Any support is greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's talk ball. Feels good to be saying that again.
Yeah, for this time of the week.
Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 12 of the Let's Talk Ball podcast. I'm Samuel Slaney, and I'm joined with Connor Ward, John Lomas, and our special guest for today, Jake Tomkinson.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad at all. So, let's begin with the international break. Thoughts on last night's game? So, at the time of recording, obviously England beat Kosovo last night in what turned out to be an eventful game, to be fair.
Shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it probably shouldn't have been, but we made it difficult for ourselves. What were we, 5-1 at the break?
5-1 at half time, yeah.
I mean,
inside 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the first half then.
I mean, first half, bar the error, especially going forward, we played really well, I thought.
Yeah. They couldn't handle players like Sterling. They were just finding it too easy out there at times. Yeah.
Yeah, we opened them up really well. We had a lot of pace. I was really happy with Sancho getting 2 goals. Thought like Jake said, Sterling had a really good game.
And we could have had more that first half.
We could have got about 6 or 7.
Honestly,
half. Yeah. We were looking like, and I know Kosovo aren't world beaters, but they were second in the group going into the game. So you were thinking 5-1 up against the side that's second in the group. That's pretty good going. But we let ourselves down massively in that second half, I thought, especially defensively again.
I mean, I just want to know what the manager said to them at half time. Yeah. Because he's wacky, isn't he? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip of him where he's moaning and then he sees the camera?
Yeah. What a guy.
That's brilliant.
I mean, it would have been like the most bipolar team talk ever.
Yeah, I know.
You scored a goal, you're amazing. You concede 5, that's shocking.
Just love how he's losing his shit and then he sees it, he smiles. But
it's like Jurgen Klopp on speed.
I was going to say, you kind of want that personality as a manager, though, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you definitely need some animation. But I thought they were all right, but again, we can't be conceding 3 goals to Kosovo at home.
Did you think it was a penalty, by the way, in the second half?
Which one, the England one or the Kosovo one?
The Kosovo one. It looks so animated as he went down.
It does, yeah.
But if you look, there's a little bit of
minimal contact, but it's very theatrical how he's gone down.
That's the problem now, though, isn't it? Like, when there's contact, it's 10 out of 10 a penalty now. Yeah. Like, that's...
There's no VAR in that competition, is there?
No,
if there was VAR, Kane's penalty would have had to have been retaken, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because his foot was off the line, wasn't it? It was a good save, to be fair, but I was saying this when I was around Jake's watching it. Should they have given that to Sancho to give him the hat-trick?
Probably should have done, yeah. And I think, to be honest, England should have switched more things up in terms of the lineup they went with as well.
Yeah.
It was pretty much the same side as the one against Bulgaria.
Yeah,
I was really surprised.
Yeah, we were expecting like a bit of a switch because, they're not the biggest team, are they?
No, not at all.
And there was uproar from fans because James Maddison was denied his debut.
I know, I didn't get that.
When you look at how the midfield played as well, it's quite surprising really that he didn't get at least an opportunity to come on.
Yeah, I thought our midfield was shocking last night. Like, really sloppy, lost the ball way too many times. Especially Rice.
Well, they looked quite tired, didn't they? But you look back and they just played a game a few days ago, so...
Just don't get why, like, Barkley has to play 2 games. Like,
don't get me wrong, you weren't too bad. But I think Maddison would have done a better job.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Rice was, like we just said, Rice was poor and he was really error.
Just as he's linked with a 90 million switch to United.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Such a United
if we're paying that, I'm out.
That's ridiculous, that is.
90 million.
Declan Rice.
What's he done to justify that? He's good, but what has he done to justify that?
I mean, he's been good for a year. I mean, like...
Yeah, I'd want to see a bit more
40 million at most.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he gets in Wolves' 3-man midfield.
It'd be close.
Yeah.
I mean, with Dendoncker, the way that he's playing at the minute, he'd definitely have a chance.
Yeah, but no, I thought the shining light from last night was the front 3 looked really pacey, and that was really promising to see. We look like we can score, but I suppose we're playing that kind of opposition. It's just the concern I have is when we're playing sides like France, Holland.
Yeah, do you think we would have been
Spain.
punished yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were punished by Kosovo.
Yeah, but do you think we would have been like annihilated?
We could have been annihilated, really. But it seems to me it's like not necessarily organisational problems, it's individual errors.
Yeah,
So,
it was a
like,
game like that.
Because it's and I suppose that does tie in with the organisation, because we're very adamant on this playing out from the back, aren't we? And it's got to be tippy tappy around the back, and we've got to play it forward. But I think
There was too much messing about.
at times
2 goals that we conceded were from like bad passes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think especially the first one, Keane probably wasn't sure about that pass, and he should have, with instinct, just thought, right, not sure about that pass, I'm going to switch it onto my right foot and just try and look for someone going forward, like switch the play. But I know it's lumping it long, but
Did you see on Twitter when he made that error? Everyone was like, "Oh, Mings wouldn't have done that."
Yeah,
All the Villa
there
fans.
God, stupid Tyrone Mings.
Do you know what though? He should have had a debut as well.
Yeah, if he's in the squad, then you may as well give
And
players like that.
what a
game.
rise he's had though.
He has, yeah.
Because 7 years ago he was playing non-league football and working in a pub part-time.
Yeah. Right.
I still think,
Insane.
though, what about players like Tarkovsky and people like that? Like, why
Yeah.
weren't they in
Yeah,
it?
I do think they are better than him.
And to be
they're
honest,
playing
Barnes should have got a look.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Barnes definitely should have been.
Well, the thing I've seen both Keane and Tarkovsky both at Burnley, and I think Tarkovsky's better than Keane. Like, I really rated Keane at Burnley, but I don't think he's been the same player since he's left us, actually. But I think you compare Tarkovsky to Keane, and Tarkovsky's better. So, Keane and Mings, I mean, that doesn't really fill me with a lot of, defensive solidity.
I just wanted Mings to make his debut.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
so, like, that rise of
Yeah,
Tyrone
that-
Mings is, like, complete.
Yeah,
He's played
yeah,
for his
he's-
national team.
Yeah, yeah. He's
But-
gone the whole way through to the Premier League. International
Exactly.
football, it would be
But
perfect.
he's,
And to make his debut at St Mary's as well.
Yeah,
Because he was, like, spat out of the academy
he
when he was
yeah.
15 at the Southampton academy, so...
But yeah, that is the thing. I don't agree with that. I didn't agree with picking Mings, but if you are going to pick him, why not just give him at least a bit of a cameo? Same with Maddison, and same with other goalkeepers maybe as well. I mean, like, it's kind of pointless them going on these international breaks if they're just not going to play. Because, like you said, we pretty much played this. Bar Alexander-Arnold, we played the same team pretty much.
Which seems pointless, like you say, to take that many players.
I mean,
You've got to think it's upsetting players' rest and recovery
Yeah.
time as well,
I
coming
know.
on international duty.
I know.
As a player, how annoyed would you be?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If you're
think-
Mings as well, or Maddison,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm going to get a debut out of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Especially against a small team like
yeah,
Kosovo.
you look at the competition that you're coming up against, and
Yeah.
you're thinking, I can get a start here,
Yeah.
really.
You're preparing yourself mentally, and
Like,
then to just sit on the bench.
Yeah,
not even necessarily a start. Like, some
Just-
kind of
yeah.
substitute appearance for like
Yeah.
10-20 minutes or something. But yeah, because how many subs did we make last night? We didn't make many subs, did we? Like,
I actually couldn't tell you.
No,
Yeah.
I
There's
think
2, was
there
it?
was definitely 2 that came on, because Rashford came on, and there was
Rashford
one
came
before
on,
him
yeah.
as it, wasn't there?
um,
Mason Mount came
Mason
on.
Oh,
Mount
that's it,
was,
yeah. That's what that angered people as well. The fact that
Yeah.
Maddison didn't even come on as a sub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
they picked
that-
Mount over him. I mean,
Yeah.
like Maddison's better than Mason Mount, I think. But
In terms of the international break, then, like, we had this conversation in the group chat, didn't we, about Bale, what he said.
yeah, he pretty much said it would have been a waste of my time if Wales was shit, pretty much.
Yeah. He was basically asked, like, can Wales qualify for the Euros?
Yeah,
And, yeah, he replied with that.
yeah.
How do you take that? Because I know you took it away in a way where it was disrespectful to the national team.
Especially considering his situation in which he's not getting much game time, and I think he needs to realise Wales are going to give him game time, so he needs to have that. And I mean, like, it was the wording. It was kind of like waste of my time.
He said it sarcastically, didn't he,
Yeah.
as well? Like,
I don't know what it is about Bale. He's just
Something's clicked.
well, I think
Yeah.
it's weighing on him a bit, though, this Real Madrid situation,
Definitely,
definitely, yeah.
with how he's being treated.
Because he got sent off as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, didn't Zidane come out and say that he's going to rely on Bale a lot more?
Yeah, I don't know what's
So,
going on there.
Twisting the situation.
Hazard's injured,
It's all a
isn't
bit
he?
of a catch-22, really. One day they're hating each other, the next day he's being told
I
that
know.
Yeah.
he's going to be the main
He's-
player. of the
he's-
team.
And you
it's
wonder, is that the
catch-22, yeah.
media escalating
Yeah.
it, or
Yeah.
is Zidane and
Something's
Perez?
probably
are
going
they-
on behind
Yeah.
closed doors.
Yeah,
You
it's
look
got
at
to be.
The situation with Pogba and United, at times that was escalated by the media
Yeah,
a lot last
and it
year.
still is, to be honest.
Yeah, it still is now, yeah. And that's very similar with Bale Real Madrid possibly. I mean,
Because it gets clicks either way, doesn't it?
I mean, I think because you're right, it gets clicks.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't think either players help themselves, or do they? Pogba nor Bale, really.
No.
I mean, especially Pogba when he was going out and saying, "I want to leave," pretty much. I mean, like that didn't.
It was when he came out in the summer and he was like, "Yeah, I think now's the time to leave."
He liked an Instagram post, didn't he? Someone posted a comment, "Please come to Madrid." How
Yeah, wasn't
Madrid?
that recent as well?
It was, yeah, and he
Yes.
liked it. It's like, why? What's the point?
He wants to play under Zidane, doesn't he?
Well, could he make it any more obvious? Really?
Well, yeah, no.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, I think he would do amazing at Real Madrid. But just imagine if he had a string of like 4 bad games. Surely the Madrid fans turn on him.
Yeah, yeah.
think
They are
that's-
like that, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They're a tough
definitely.
fan base.
I've said this before. They booed Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
booed Ronaldo. I remember watching the game when they booed him. I was
Even
like,
if he was
"What?"
terrible for
Greatest
like the
ever
last
player.
3 years, you couldn't boo him, could you?
Well,
He's a legend.
he's their best ever player. Like, he just is their best ever player. Like, the stats don't lie. Like, and you could even argue he's one of the best footballers ever. Like, to ever kick a ball. Certainly in my generation, like him and Messi are creme de la creme, really.
Yeah, we won't get into that. It triggers a lot of people,
No,
but
yeah.
we all know
Well,
who we prefer.
yeah. I'm Messi.
Speaking
by
of
the way.
Ronaldo, go on then. Let's all go round. I'm Ronaldo. So
Messi.
what are you?
I'm Messi as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I'm outnumbered today. But on the topic of Ronaldo, 4 goals last night.
Oh yeah, we're against Lithuania.
Yeah, and that it sounds bad to be fair because again it's like a Kosovo
Yeah.
team, but that's 93 goals now against 40 countries.
Jesus Christ.
That's just insane.
That's incredible, that is.
It's a ridiculous record. He's such a, the thing that does amaze. Like, I used to be when I was younger. On that kind of massive. I hated Ronaldo and I was always big Messi. So I was always like.
Was that
Messi.
because of his ego?
I think it was both. Yeah, I think it was, and I think it was the kind of like I just when you're at that age when you're really opinionated.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, I just love Messi and he's the best, so therefore anyone else that's even compared to him, I just think is way better. Like I used to think Messi was a different class to Ronaldo, but as I've grown older and Ronaldo's adapted his game more, especially as kind of like a goal-scoring 40-goal a season striker, it's kind of like thought, wow, he's adapted his game so much, like, and that is like so kind of for me, that's just amazing how he's adapted from an out-and-out winger to.
I've never seen that before. Have you?
No.
A
From an
player
out-and-out-
adapt like
From an
that.
out-and-out winger to pretty much the best striker in the world. No, never seen that.
The common assumption is that Ronaldo's a better goal scorer.
But Messi's got
Messi's-
the better goal stats.
He's physically
something-
suited to being a better goal scorer.
There's
Yeah.
like a stat published where if you were to start your career today as a footballer and were to score 40 goals a season for 15 years,
You'd still fall short.
you'd still be 70
Yeah.
goals behind Messi. So
Well, yeah, and it's also Ronaldo would need to score, I think, his next 176 shots on target to have the same strike ratio as Messi.
what were you saying, Sam?
I'll say this: there's different stats that prove each other. Like you could obviously play the Champions League card, where he's the top
Paolo Maldini
player
has
ever.
6 Champions Leagues.
No, the top player ever, though, the goal scorer.
Ronaldo, I'll give you that. Ronaldo's better on the Champions
And then you could
League.
say he's done it in
International
like
level as
multiple
well.
leagues.
Yeah.
He's
And
done it at
Ronaldo's done
international
it
level.
better. It is definitely a.
It's a massive debate. It's one of the. It's a Pele and Maradona. We'll never know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got tighter, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was a time when it was pretty much unanimous that Messi was the better player. But I think from about 2016, it got tighter. As Ronaldo started to get... And Messi declined a little bit. And Ronaldo started to get a little bit better. But they're both tied on the same Ballon d'Ors as well. So, I mean, age is on Messi's side to have more Ballon d'Ors.
Do you
but
think that that's why they haven't won it for the past 2 years now? Do you think because it means even more? Like by one of them getting the next Ballon d'Or, that could confirm them as the best player.
Yeah.
Do you think you've had Modric and Van Dijk now? Messi had a good season last season as well.
Well, I
He
think
did, yeah.
I think if Messi would have won the Champions League, he'd have won it.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, he'd have won it. I think the reason Van Dijk's going to win it is because he's the standout player in the team that won the biggest competition in the world. Same
Yeah.
with Modric as well. Like Modric won that because he won the Champions League. And
Sorry, I've just realised I was talking past tense if it's already confirmed.
Yeah.
That's my assumption that he's won it.
I mean, he's pretty much has won it, hasn't he? But
Yeah.
yeah, Modric won it because he got to a World Cup final, which he pretty much dragged his side to. and
It was class, wasn't it? The
It
World
was
Cup.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, he beat England on that night, didn't he? Like he beat us.
I still don't think. I think you could have given it to Messi though.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could have given it to Messi this year and last year. When you looked at his like stats, I mean, like if you are going on who's the best player, it is still always Messi or Ronaldo.
I don't think you can put Pele up there, can you?
No, I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's
now,
fraud, isn't
Ballon
it?
d'Or.
How do we how do we compare that? Because the game was slower paced back then
It's
as
a funny
well.
thing about
Yeah.
Pele. Do you remember that tweet when he said he once scored a goal that was so amazing the goalkeeper cried? He had to
Yeah.
be substituted
Yeah.
out.
And then the top comment was the guy sucking his own cock. That's brilliant, that was. But
I think we've learned now to appreciate both, haven't we?
Yeah. It's one of them,
have.
you probably have your personal preference, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you kind of just appreciate what both of them are doing because
Yeah,
they're probably,
we
they
might
might
never
not be
see
another
it
player
again.
again.
it's
Exactly,
like in tennis with Nadal and Federer, isn't it? Like
You almost forget the rivalry because you think, wow, these two are
we,
Yeah.
just out of this world.
we all have a favourites in those kind of thing, or like in other sports as well, like Ali or Tyson and stuff like that. But it's there's no definitive fact. It is always opinion at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it's certainly I think it has livened up football, and I think ultimately, like Nadal and Federer and Djokovic in tennis, Ronaldo and Messi have made each other better players.
Yeah, they've even said that, haven't they, as well?
They
They've come out and said
they
that.
have. Like if one of them's not around, they're not scoring as many goals.
That's a
And
fact as well.
Nadal or Federer's not around, then one of them retires earlier. It's kind of like that. But yeah,
So just finalising that then, have you heard what Sarri has said to Ronaldo? He wants him to score 40 goals this season.
I mean,
Do you think he can do that in Serie A? Bearing in mind he got 28 in the whole season, so...
There's a possibility it'll be hard. Serie A is known defensively for
Yeah.
being a lot tighter than what the Spanish league is. So
I mean,
It's
that was
gonna
his
be-
worst season as well
it
last
was,
season. It was on par with when he left Man United to join Madrid.
Yeah.
it's a completely different league for that kind of stuff. I mean, like I think the record goal scorer was Higuain on like 39, wasn't it? Or maybe just a little bit less. Actually.
See that Higuain goal he
36
scored
was
against
it?
Yeah,
something like
36,
against
yeah.
Napoli, was it, when he fake shot it
Oh,
back
yeah.
and on the volley?
Yeah,
How was
what was that, first game or second
I,
game?
don't- I
When
can't.
they
I think it was
played
against
Napoli.
Napoli. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a really good goal.
Yeah, good game that.
4-3,
4-3.
wasn't it? Yeah.
But I think that's the
That
thing.
Koulibaly wonder strike,
Oh,
own goal.
Yeah.
Oh, reminded me of last night. That was funny last night when he scored that own goal. But
Yeah, he couldn't sort his feet out,
I
could
mean,
he?
like you think about it, 4-4, wasn't it? But no, I think he'd do exceptionally well to get 40 goals. Like, I think he scored a really good return last year, considering that's his first season
in a new league.
Like Jake said, it's a very slow, tight defensive league, isn't it? The Serie A.
Yeah.
It's low scoring.
Do you think Messi could do it in Serie A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you look at players like El Shaarawy, I know they're not that similar, but players who are very technical with dribbling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't seem to have the end product.
No. I
Obviously, Messi
think,
has.
Messi
but-
does, though.
Messi will find a way to make it work.
Yeah,
for
to
him.
split defences.
I mean, it's that age.
And it's the same with the Premier League. I
Yeah.
know he's done it in the Champions League against Premier League teams,
Yeah.
but it's different in
Yeah,
the league.
yeah.
like if
Coventry,
Messi
United,
come-
Stoke as
Yeah.
Or Burnley. If Messi
Yeah,
comes up against
Tarkowski.
Burnley, are they
Yeah.
keeping Messi out?
Yeah.
They
No,
might do. Or
and-
Watford,
and-
because
yeah.
they're so physical.
We can't keep out Firmino. We're going to struggle with Messi. Like let's face it. The guy's like Sergio Ramos is a very tough tackling centre back, and he's world class, and he has him on toast every time. I think he'll be fine with Tarkowski and Ben. And that's
Sean
music
Dye
to
should
my-
be in his ear, though, wouldn't he? on
Yeah,
the-
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Giving Messi a slap round the head as he walks
to be fair, he
past.
probably intimidate him. I mean, like he is the scariest manager in the league. I think Sean Dyche.
It's that voice.
It's that voice, that gravelly voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very bollocks the plays at half time, doesn't he?
Definitely does. Yeah. Well, I remember when we lost in the cup to Sunderland. He came out in the press conference and said, they asked me why they don't play.
Breath was gone, wasn't it? Was that? I can't.
That was after we lost to Leicester at
Yeah,
home
his
last
breath was
season.
gone.
So he was when we lost to Leicester at home, who were down to 10 men at home, and his literally his voice was gone. He must
Breath,
have
the voice was gone, not breath. Yeah.
bollocked. Must have bollocked. And fair enough, I'd have bollocked him after that game. That was awful. But yeah,
Right, we've been touching on best players then, and you can tell it's the international break because I'm pulling this one out. FIFA ratings. They've just come out for FIFA 20,
Yeah,
and CR7 is rated lower than Messi.
because Ronaldo's
Messi's a better player.
Well, there's that, and Ronaldo's got an exclusive deal with
Piemonte Calcio is.
Pez. So,
Piemonte
so
Calcio.
FIFA have decided, well, you fuck off from us, we'll lower
Do you
your
think it
rating.
is based on that though?
Well, remember when Messi wasn't the cover star? They lowered his
Yeah,
rating.
he went down to 93.
And Ronaldo was the better player. That's genuinely what they do it out from, I think.
Would you agree though that Messi should be the best player rated in the game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or do you think it should be the same?
I think after if you base it on last season, which I think FIFA ratings usually are, then yeah.
Who would you
Yeah.
put third? Because I want to know. I don't know if you've seen the ratings. But
Neymar's third, isn't he? 92.
yeah.
I haven't-
I don't
would you
have
put him
Neymar that
third?
high. No, I
Has he
don't
done
rate
enough?
him
He's
as
been
that
injured
much.
like
He
that.
has,
Half of last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so why is he 90?
Don't get me wrong. He
rated?
did score a decent
He's
amount of
one,
goals for the
rating-
games.
he's
he
yeah.
one
played.
rating below Ronaldo.
He's one rating,
Not a chance.
They've,
and obviously higher than Hazard,
Yeah.
which that's debatable.
they've decreased
Yeah.
Messi Ronaldo's pace, haven't they, as well?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
So.
And I think
Mustafi
Ronaldo's
got an
dribbling as
upgrade.
well.
Did you see that?
By one,
Mustafi
yeah.
got an upgrade.
No, he didn't.
He got an upgrade by one. For what? How did he get an
How's he done
upgrade?
that?
All his stats have gone up, haven't they? Like,
Who's he dating?
plus
Like
3 on pace.
someone who works at EA.
I know. How did he was? I think that's the worst I've ever seen him. He got an upgrade.
He's got connections. He has.
The FIFA
100%.
ratings are complete bullshit, though, aren't they? Like they're literally not a perimeter of.
They get it right sometimes, but
Yeah.
other times.
Well,
I mean, what would you rate Modric?
Firmino.
What would you rate Modric?
After last season, he's an 88.
Oh, would you say that?
Yeah,
He's
probably.
90 here.
I mean, I can see that.
He has had
but,
a
like,
terrible, well, not terrible season, but
Yeah.
shocking by his standards.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if he's 90 rated.
What about Salah?
88 again?
90.
I know Salah's class, but we were saying this last night. He's a frustrating player to watch because he literally
Yeah.
has 10 shots every game and scores 2 goals.
Yeah, he's.
No.
To be fair though, he didn't have an end product, did he?
No.
Like it was only in his time at
Yeah.
or time in the Serie A that he kind of found an end product.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
question.
think he's still developing in that respect.
That's a good question, actually. Who do you think's the best out of that front three? Mane, Firmino, or Salah?
So
They all
tough.
do
They
Firmino.
complement each other, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Firmino's so
perfect
different.
in there.
Yeah.
He works so well for both
He's
of
been
them.
robbed in
Yes.
these ratings.
Yeah.
86.
Well, I think I said this last night. I think if there's no Firmino there, that Mane and Salah don't click. I mean, like you saw
Yeah.
when you saw after the Burnley game when Mane was really pissed off at the bench. That would happen every week, and they just
Do you
wouldn't
think so,
score the
yeah?
same amount of goals. I think Firmino supplements them both enough, so they both get a decent amount of goals. Like if it was a front two between Salah and Mane, and they're never ever laying the ball off to each other, yeah, that's not working.
They are quite selfish in that respect.
But like,
You do need that in a team.
Yeah,
Definitely.
At
But there was
times
that-
it's perfect, but
There was
at
that
times
one.
it's overused.
I mean, there was
Yeah.
like that one that Burnley when he could lay it off to Mane and he didn't. He was shot and he lost the ball.
well, that's what
You got to
caused
think
Mane
they're not
get-
only
Yeah,
well, they're competitors, aren't they? Because they're trying to get the golden boot.
Yeah,
but you've got to think
It's-
about the team first, especially in a title race. I mean, like they're lucky that they were in a game where they were comfortably 3-0 up in. But
Yeah.
if that's like a clutch game against City or Chelsea or whoever's up there, you've got to be like making sure you put those chances away and not risk stuff like that just for your own personal gain.
think of the goal difference as well. You've got to realise that last year, City and Liverpool, it only came down to 1 point. There's nothing really to separate the two sides.
Yeah, so you've got to be
Yeah,
looking at goal
exactly.
difference.
So
definitely.
goal difference
maybe
could be massive.
maybe they should have laid off to him so it went only 4-0 or maybe even got a fifth because they had chances. Like they could have easily won that game 4 or 5. I mean, the crazy thing about that game was I didn't even think we played that badly, but we should have lost 4 or 5. That's how good Liverpool are at the moment. I mean, like
Now,
Liverpool's-
according to FIFA, Mane is rated 88 in FIFA 20.
I'd say that's fair. I'd say Mane.
What about Salah though? 90.
No, it should be 88.
I think.
You
About
could probably have them on
89.
par or
I'd put him on
yeah.
par.
I
I'd
know
put all 3
Rashford
on
did.
par.
Just talking about this, Rashford's gone up to 83.
Really?
That's probably
if
right,
I'm
around
a
that
United
area.
fan though. 82 maybe.
82,
say
83. It's the
82.
same rating to 83,
Barnes has
82.
outscored him the last 3 seasons. He actually has as well. And one of those seasons he was a bench striker.
De Gea's gone down as well.
I haven't-
2 ratings.
I haven't checked the ratings at all, so I have no idea what the Burnley ratings are.
They released the best
They've
Premier
just
League
done the
team,
top 100 at the moment.
best like rated Premier League team, and it's like Aguero, he's there, Sterling.
It's the same, innit? Like they never
Yeah.
really change the ratings, do they? That much.
Sterling looks good on there, 88. I know that. I do rate Sterling.
Heung-min Son's card's been one that's been going around
I've seen
everywhere
that.
on.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
on,
that looks
on
filthy.
Twitter.
5-star weak foot.
Does he have
Yeah.
a 5-star week for?
Yeah.
What's his skill? What's his
4-star skills.
Jesus Christ, he's gonna be ridiculous.
88 pace, 86 shot, 87
So he got
dribbling.
86 shot with a weak foot. With
Yeah.
a 5-star weak foot. Bloody hell. He's gonna be filthy on Ultimate Team. I don't really play Ultimate Team that much anymore though.
I've played
Yeah, I
FIFA
play
for
career
about 2
mode, I do.
years.
I play career mode.
That's dry though. That is, I think.
I've got back into it. I had
Like,
a massive spell where I just didn't play it
I
at
have
all.
Football Manager for that.
Yeah, if I'm playing a career mode, I'm playing Football Manager.
So
Yeah, that's the
It's-
best one.
Yeah.
So good Football Manager is. I need to get back into it. I remember probably my best ever Football Manager one was I was manager at Wolves, funnily enough, and it was this.
Good choice.
It was Football Manager 11. So it was when Wolves they were second season in the Prem, so they had like Stephen Hunt, Doyle, Fletcher, all them players. And I remember first season I just kept them up. Second season I got them in the top 4, and then the next season I won the league with them, and then got to a Champions League final. We lost 2-1 to Real Madrid. Sergio Ramos scored twice, I think. Fletcher scored the opening goal.
It's realistic that.
Fle-
He turns
Fletcher-
up in
Fletcher and
Champions
Doyle-
League finals.
Fletcher and Doyle genuinely were like Europe's top strikers in that Football Manager.
I'd
And
have to
I
agree,
had-
that was real life as well.
And I had
The accuracy was real.
I had Ashley Young. I remember he was really good. And then I remember I left to go to Arsenal, and they renamed the stadium the John Lomas Stadium. They renamed it from the Molineux.
That's amazing.
Maybe you could come and help us out now.
Yeah.
Sort a few things out.
Yeah, what's going on with Wolves then? Do you think not the best start so far?
It's not been the best start.
It's not been terrible though.
Europe's been fantastic, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to be focusing our.
I think that's the reason of
because we might not get this opportunity again, especially for Wolves fans. When you think 4 or 5 years ago we were in League One, we were playing teams like Vale, Crawley, Stevenage every weekend, and now all of a sudden we're playing with the big boys in Europe. And for us as fans, it's kind of just a bit of a. It's just a journey that you just want to follow it on. There are a few that are getting really frustrated with the Premier League start. It's not been great, and I can understand that. But you look at the teams that we played, Leicester away, to be fair, I didn't expect to get anything out of that. We were maybe robbed with VAR as well with the goal, but I'm not going to complain about that. It'll come our way again another time. United was probably one that we ended up stealing a point really from that. I think for 20 minutes we were fantastic.
I mean, our record against you,
it's
past 4 games, is
Yeah.
shoddy on our part.
Yeah, that was a good game. That one was. Burnley at home was one that again we should have lost that. So we should be thankful for coming away with a point there. We were awful against them. Burnley were fantastic, to be fair, but
I know all about it. Yeah.
Yeah, John sat there crying internally.
I was at the away end, and for 70 minutes I was like, my God, how is this only 1-0? We've been fantastic. And then for the last 20 minutes, we just completely sat back, slowed the game down. I was like, this is going to bite us on the arse. And then I saw Ryan Bennett do a long throw and just saw panic in the box. And then cheers. I was like, there's safe standing behind, and I just put my arm on the railing and went, oh no, we've lost this.
I looked across when the penalty was given. I wanted to see your reaction to everything.
Did you see it?
I sort of caught a little bit of it.
I was like, oh no. Harry saw me when we scored. It was out of nowhere. The goal was. I just completely lost my shit. I was like,
It was a
what
fantastic
fucking goal. But yeah, I agree with you on the Everton game.
The Everton game was just poor.
Yeah.
I mean, defensively, you can't be gifting goals like the first one that we gave away.
No.
The defensive errors in that were too much. But we played with Vinagre and Traore as fullbacks, and going forward, both of them fantastic. But defensively, especially up against the side like Everton with Richarlison, Bernard coming at you down the wings,
really quick attack.
There was not a cat and mouse chance they were going to be able to deal with them. And Richarlison just he murdered Vinagre at times down the wing.
Patricio had a good game.
Patricio is fantastic.
I mean, I thought he had a good game against us. He did a good save on Chris Wood, I remember. Wood should have scored, but it was still a good save.
There was often a lot of fans saying that Ruddy was better than Patricio, all because Patricio's kicking was dreadful. But I mean,
Who said that?
There was tons of Wolves fans on Twitter.
Really?
Ruddy deserves to be starting over Patricio. And it's a bit like, Not a chance.
We made that one good save on the Shaqiri free kick against Liverpool. I remember Roy.
That save was fantastic.
But
you just got to look at some of the other things.
I'm sorry, but Roy Patricio is a Portuguese international.
Yeah, he's
not
nearly
having
played 100 times.
Oh yeah, he's elite. He's a top keeper.
fantastic
Yeah.
goalkeeper.
I mean, that save as against us as well, the penalty.
that
Yeah,
was like people didn't comment on that enough. I didn't think.
Yeah,
Like,
it was more Pogba miss.
That was a good save. I remember thinking, like, it wasn't a bad penalty really. But Rashford should have taken it. But then he did
just
take the
touching
one
on
next week.
Wolves, you said about Traore playing as fullback. I love that transition.
I'm really enjoying it. I think there's going to be games where it's not going to be effective against teams that are, the big teams that attack us. We need someone a bit more defensive stability in there. But then Doherty's not fantastic defensively. He's more of an attacking fullback. But so far this season, Traore's been a complete different player. Last year, I rated him last year. He didn't have a great year, but there was still that kind of, he's young, there's potential in him. A full pre-season with Nuno could really get him going. And you're watching him so far this year, and he's murdering fullbacks.
He's come good in Europe as well, hasn't he? To be fair.
Europe against Torino away from home.
Yeah.
His end product's getting better. There's still going to be questions about it because sometimes there will be a cross that will fly out for a throw in.
Yeah.
Or he's had a couple shots that have thrown out for throw ins as well. But his composure's a lot better. And you look in games against United, he changed the game. I thought when he came on against you,
He was very sharp
He
against
changed
us.
the game against Burnley as
100%.
well.
he changed the game against Burnley. Yeah,
Do you think he's more of an impact player?
probably. Yeah, he's
'Cause
going
of
to be
that
one of
pace.
them. Yeah,
Bring him on when they're tired.
yeah, definitely.
He stretched
He's going to
us.
be one of them players that will be frustrating to watch, and then next week you'll think he's world class because you'll watch him and no one can get close to him. His strength and his pace. There's probably not a player in the league that can match him on that.
No.
And if he gets it all,
He's got the physical
I
attributes.
mean, he's
100%.
absolutely lightning. I remember he played against us at Turf Moor last season when it was the 2-0 game, and he was Wolves' best player.
yeah.
But I remember just thinking, this guy's got the beating of the left back every time. And Charlie Taylor's a good left back, but he had the beat of him every time. But every time the crosses coming in were just shocking. Like the end product was so poor. And I was thinking, if he could get the end product right, he is so good. And that seems to be getting a bit better now. Like I said, when he came on against us in the 1-1 game this season, he completely changed the game because we looked comfortable for 75 minutes, and then when he came on, he properly stretched us and added pace. And then that goal came. I mean, he didn't actually make the goal, but I think his pressure helped that.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by him again. And I think him being a wing back suits him really well.
It really
Especially
does,
chasing games.
Like we said, because of his physical attributes, he can just outmuscle anyone.
Especially
off the ball.
against teams like Burnley, when they're especially in the last 20 minutes. If they're winning, if you're losing to a team like Burnley at home in the last 20 minutes, you know what Burnley are going to do. They're going to realise they're a solid defensive unit and going to be difficult to break down. You need to stretch, and that's a good thing to have off the bench. A lot of teams don't have that. I think if that's let's say Leicester, they wouldn't have anyone like that to bring on to do that.
No, I can't think of anyone. Only when they had what's his name, Iheanacho from City.
Yeah.
I thought he was. Have they still got him actually?
Yeah, but he's crap.
Yeah.
He's not great.
I thought he was going to be like the next wonder kid. I did.
I remember when he left to go to Leicester, I was like, what is City thinking? I was like, okay, that's what they're thinking.
They knew, didn't they?
Yeah, they knew he wasn't that good. Well, I remember I used to always say he's better than Rashford. That's another one of John's
It did seem that way though at first, because every time he came on, he got a goal.
Yeah.
Or at least contributed.
Like I said, I've had some very controversial football opinions in my time. I think I was one of those people that said Jordan Ibe would be better than Raheem Sterling.
Oh.
And I can say that honestly that I said that.
You're still saying that now?
No, definitely not.
Imagine if he
now.
was.
I remember at the time I was like, because I used to think Sterling was so overrated, especially when he went to City for 50 million. I was like, Liverpool got Jordan Ibe, so they've got the better deal. And then I also said I used to think Barnes was bang average, and I remember when he was linked with Chelsea. When Chelsea were after all the big strikers, they were linked with Barnes. I was
Peter
like,
Crouch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said they can have him. We got Sam Vokes, he's better. And that sounds stupid now.
Just before we go for a break, then, you mentioned Raheem Sterling. You didn't think that the move to City would prosper for him.
Yeah, and it has.
Do you think he'd be the same player if he'd have stayed at Liverpool?
No.
Don't you? Do you think he needed Pep's guidance?
I suppose he would have had Klopp's guidance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's another elite manager.
And you look what Klopp's done to players as well already.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe he would have been. Maybe he might have.
Would he have
been the
worked in
same
a
player.
different way, or do you think he'd still be?
Would he be like Mane? Maybe
Yeah, potentially.
someone
I mean,
like that.
That still wouldn't be a bad.
No,
player to
it wouldn't.
transition
No,
into
no.
at all.
Like it makes you think if Liverpool would have signed either Mane or Salah. I mean, like it's kind of a butterfly effect, really.
Yeah, it would lead to a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think so. To be fair, I think he's proven proven me wrong. He's world class. Like he's a fantastic
He is, yeah.
footballer. Like especially in these last 2 seasons. I mean, like he's transitioned into a high goal scoring winger. He's such a good dribbler with the ball.
It's
as
the
well.
space he can create for himself, like
Yeah,
off the ball
yeah.
as well.
Like last night as well. We
Well,
said
yeah.
earlier.
He beats defenders with ease.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's so quick, and I think his finishing still could do a little bit of work, which is mad considering the amount of goals he gets. But
His end product is coming good now.
It is coming good.
Yeah.
I used to think his decision making was really poor, especially when he was at Liverpool. But I think his decision making is getting a lot better. I think we've got Pep to thank for that. I mean, it's a shame really that Sancho could have never got into that City team with Pep, because I really rate Sancho, but with Pep he could be absolutely.
You never know; he
amazing.
could actually move back.
Going on
You
to
know, he's
what
linked with the move next year.
you were saying earlier about City not with it Inacho. Do you think that letting go of Sancho? Do you think that they'll have known what he?
You've got a real
well,
good point there.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Maybe City didn't think he'd go on to do much.
backfired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a buyback clause though, haven't they? I think.
That's the rumour. I'm not sure if they have.
I mean, like, I literally saw some Chelsea fans say on Twitter they'll
Well,
get
there
him
you
back.
go. Yeah.
Well, they said they'll get him back because he supports Chelsea. No. He's not going to Chelsea. Sancho isn't.
Can't stand Chelsea.
And then apparently, like, he would rule and move out to City because the way he left, like, the fans don't like him anymore.
Who, Sancho?
Mm.
Really?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Well, he signed that new big contract to Dortmund, didn't he?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's working.
If you're playing for a team, you know, you're going to be happy somewhere.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it is in his interest to say I'd love to see him in the Premier League, but
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
if he
I wouldn't
stays
like
there
to
a
see him
couple
at
of years,
United.
Well,
we
he
need
would.
to sort out our issues. Else he's a player who would have big expectations. He'd arrive with a big price tag,
Yeah.
and then he'd just drown amongst the
Well, that's like story of Man
terribleness.
United. It's like Dybala would have done that.
yeah.
Absolutely certain.
Would have been the
Sanchez
next Di
2.0
Maria
once.
for us.
Yeah, I do.
I remember I found it so funny when I heard that Dybala was going to pick Spurs over Man United. I was like,
It
my
would have
God.
suited him better. That
It
you couldn't
would've
even
done.
argue. Like,
Would have done,
Yeah.
but you were like, how the hell have Man United sunk that low? That
Yeah.
a club's players picking Spurs over him. But it was classic Spurs because they bottled that side.
Yeah, they did.
They did, yeah.
They did, yeah.
They bottled that, and who else were they after?
Coutinho.
They would have been title contenders if they got both of those players in. But now, I actually think they don't look that great. Spurs.
Well, I think we'll go for a little break now then. Come back for the second half, and I've got an interactive segment planned. Welcome back to the second half of the Let's Talk Ball podcast. So I promised you an interactive segment then,
He's delivered.
and I've delivered.
He's delivered the goods.
And I've got some physical stuff here.
Oh,
Don't know if you can hear the bag rustling.
right. Holy shit, you've brought stuff in.
Oh.
Match Attax.
I'm
Matt,
coming on
you've
this
got
every
Match
week.
Attax?
Yeah, do you know how I've got them?
Right.
So I thought international break's coming up. I bought a Match of the Day magazine for the first time since I was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, is there any ideas? Nothing. Although these were sellotaped onto the front cover.
Match Attax.
But
Everyone remembers Match
I know,
Attax.
literally, this is like how I built my database of
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, I remember the.
I think it was
08,
0809, wasn't it?
season.
And like they've
Remember-
completely
do you
changed
remember-
compared
do you
to when we
remember
were
in
kids.
class
So.
and
Yeah.
Miss Wynn banned them.
I remember she banned. I do remember. Yeah,
They
I
were
remember
pretty
banned.
much like drugs. I remember they were like
A
drug
currency
deals.
at school.
It was. I remember. I don't think I've told everyone. Connor will have remembered when I did this with Match of the Day magazine. I bought 2 Match of the Day magazines
Cheers, man.
because they had.
Thanks.
They had a limited edition Theo Walcott card in both of them. So I got 2 duplicate limited edition Theo Walcott, and I went.
Don't
up
open them yet.
And I went up to someone who had a Frank Lampard, and I was like, this limited edition Theo Walcott is like really rare. You won't be able to get him really. I'll swap him for Frank Lampard. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." Yeah. So I swapped it with him, and then like and then I was like, "Thanks." And then I got the Frank Lampard, and then I opened it up, and he said, "Hey, you've got another limited edition Walcott there. You said he was really rare." I was like, "You've done the deal now, mate."
Yeah, it was no comeback, was it? There was nothing like.
And then it caused fights, didn't it, Connor? If you remember at Grove.
I don't remember, not really.
Grove Junior.
But they were massive, weren't they?
Yeah, and then
I think they still are, to be fair.
Yeah.
Miss
if
Wynn
you went round
literally
schools.
got a pack up and like kind of got a rubber band around and said, "These are banned from dealing." And I was like, "Wow, it's literally like a drug deal."
Actually is.
Those were
really
the
were.
days, though. Those were. Everyone
So
had
the
a
reason
Match
we've got
Attax.
these, and don't open it yet.
No,
Connor.
I'm kind of just teasing it a little bit.
I would.
I thought, why don't we just like see who we get, see how they've changed,
Yeah.
see what players we get.
Bit of a nostalgia trip.
Yeah, and then we actually play like a game like of.
What you can play, man?
You yeah, I never knew how to play it.
There's tournaments. Like
So you know, just the
Championship
attack and defence.
Yeah.
You just pick a player. I'm going to go for attack this, and then you pick one to rival.
I've never played a game of Match Attax.
I haven't. Never.
You know there was an annual, I think, in 2008, 2009.
They always had the annuals. Yeah.
And in the annual, there was like it documented the championships, and it showed the kid who won.
Oh,
and it
yeah, I
showed them
remember.
like playing
Yeah.
it and stuff like that.
I remember
So
that.
They actually set them up in
There was a big,
formations now,
there was a
don't
big
they?
trophy and stuff.
That's mad.
I remember I got because I saw him in Hanley, Ryan Shawcross. I got him to sign.
No
my
way.
I got
Ryan Shawcross.
Saif Diao signed mine, and in the moment, I actually gave him a different card, like a different Stoke black player, and just said, "Can you sign this?"
Oh man,
That's brilliant.
Anyway, that's not me. That's
I love that.
You're lucky you were a kid.
But looking at it, I've got a pack with Hazard on in a Real Madrid kit. I swear it used to just be Premier League.
Yeah, I thought it was just Premier League. It's got
Right,
I mean,
okay.
Champions League and Europa League on the front as
Yeah,
well.
it does
so-
have Champions League. and
Right.
Europa League.
Yeah.
Connor's eager, so go on, Connor. Open yours, and actually you can't say you've got, else it'll ruin the game. So let's all open them now. And because they were
Bloody
sellotaped to a
hell.
magazine, they should be like specials. Because I swear they used to get better packs, didn't you?
Yeah, the more you pay.
I've got one beast.
Just
Right,
Don't say anymore.
I've got a free digital.
so they're
package.
literally then. Are these the proper
It's
ones
still-
or not?
Am I the only one that thinks it kind of smells like they used to?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, they didn't
Right.
feel as good though, do they? They used to be bigger cards for one,
Yeah, this is
The
shit,
designs
this
were
is. This
better,
is not proper.
and it was just Premier League.
It looks tacky. This does. It's not like as big. It used to be. You used to have attack there in the corner and defence there in the corner.
That's all
as
you
well.
needed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad like we were kids when we were, because I feel like everything is just so saturated
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had probably one of the best childhoods ever.
Like
we
even
did.
with TV shows, and we talked about that lineup as well. Football's Next Star, Soccer AM, all that
Oh, no.
on a Saturday.
it's not the same anymore.
not the
now,
same.
right, man. It's-
Wayne Rooney, Street Striker as well.
Yeah.
Wayne Strike, so good.
But yeah,
Who's
I don't know how this is gonna work between the four of us. I suppose someone's gonna pick then.
Can I go?
So
Yeah.
what you basically?
So
I
you're
say
gonna pick.
Defence.
Yeah.
I go
And you-
defence.
Okay then. So who's gonna rival him?
Shall I say my defence score?
So someone.
I'll go.
So we're gonna have to give our
Yeah,
best
so-
defence as well then.
So you.
Yeah.
That's how it's
so
gonna
do I
work.
not just go then attack?
No, it has to be the same.
Right. Okay.
So pick your one with the best
Yeah,
defence.
I've got mine.
Right, I've got mine.
I've got mine.
Got
Got
yours?
mine.
Yeah.
No.
So you announce what yours is then?
The player or
Yeah, the player and the stat.
Van Dijk 90 defence.
Oh,
Fuck's sake.
you've probably won that.
Well,
I got Casemiro 85 defence.
Well, I've got Hector Bellerin 75.
Got Lloris at 84.
Oh,
So what does that mean then?
so you've won that. You don't get
So-
anything, but
Okay. Right. Yeah. He's
put
got
that card to the side as
says,
well.
it says Hector Bellerin's a club legend.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
What does it say that?
No,
Says
it
there,
doesn't.
Yeah, club legend.
Club legend.
He's not a club
He's
legend.
not a club legend. He's bang average.
Forget Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Forget Bergkamp.
Forget-
Have they made
Hector
these
Bellerin.
cards smaller?
They feel it, yeah.
I don't
These-
like them.
Yeah, I don't. This is poor. This is. I'm disappointed in Match Attack.
Right,
What
Let's
we
go
going
again
for
then.
Next attack.
so let's go this way round then.
So mine.
No, this way. So,
So you.
yeah, I don't think anyone's going to beat this. I'm going to go attack. Has everyone got their player ready?
I've got my player ready.
I've got Sadio Mane, 100 club. So he's
got
got 100
100 club?
attack. Yeah.
As if he got 100.
Aren't they supposed to be like really rare?
They are.
It doesn't feel special though. Like back when you
I
get
lost
like.
my shit when I got Torres 100 club.
I got Fernando Torres 101 on Christmas.
man.
Oh
I
my
lost
God.
Gerrard
shit.
had one, didn't he? And then Ronaldo.
I had
Right,
Ronaldo.
my
I got
cousin-
Ronaldo's 101.
I never
fucking-
packed him, the Ronaldo 100 club, but I did get the card. I traded my cousin, who was like, I don't know if he was on drugs at the time or something. I traded him like 2 silvers and like a limited edition for 100 club. And
What the hell?
he gave it me.
That's
It might be because he's my cousin and he's like, yeah, have it.
That reminds me of when two of our mates at school got ripped off that time by someone buying a certain.
I remember people trading like Powerade drinks
Yeah.
for cards.
Yeah.
And like food and all that.
Oh yeah, right.
It literally was a currency, like you said.
Yeah,
Oh.
people would like literally steal lunch money from it.
Yeah, it was
from as
genuinely
well.
a currency.
That's why we had to stop it. It got to fight. It got really bad at our school. Like people would hit each other with the annuals.
No way.
It was brilliant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, my attack's 84. It's Lacazette.
Yeah, I'm Luka Jovic at 85.
Damn.
Harry
Jovic
Winks,
got better than Lacazette.
76.
76 is your best attack.
Right, it's your turn then, Jake.
Right, I'm going to go with attack, and we've got man of the match Rashford at 91.
Oh my
Ooh.
god, my pack is fucking garbage compared to everyone else's. I mean, like, the only other one that I've got remotely decent attack on is Gonzalo Guedes, the Valencia midfielder, 76.
I got Griezmann.
Wow.
And 87
But
attack.
you did that on purpose, didn't you? You kind of knew that was the best pack.
I actually didn't. I've got a spare pack as well. Shall I open them and split them up?
Just see what's in it, yeah. As if you got 100 club for the food.
I know.
100 club Griezmann.
I mean, mine is absolutely garbage. I mean, I'm just going to tell you mine. I mean, mine's Lacazette.
It's like
That-
ASMR, isn't it? This opening the pack.
that Valencia guy, Guedes, a digital pack. No, an agent card.
An agent card.
Right, I'd never
I
remember
think they've
that.
got a bit more
Right.
technical than what
I
I
don't know.
Bellerin and Jota.
I don't know how we're
Wolves.
going to split these up.
Because
Yeah.
Jota's in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's shit in the back.
I'm going to sec. We're just going to have to...
Fling them around.
Yeah, how are we going to do this? Connor, do you want to split them up?
I can. Yeah, I'll do that.
Without looking.
How many cards?
Shuffle them and then just
Shuffle
split them up.
Uh,
Yeah, don't look.
Again, it's another shit card.
So David Silva.
What is that?
Something.
Let's have a look. I mean, fucking God knows what that is. What the hell's that?
Not a clue.
Just says his Champions League achievements and
Is
what
that just like
manager.
a standard Man City card?
Wait, have they
It
started
looks
doing
like
manager
one, doesn't it?
cards or what?
Yeah.
That looks like a club. Yeah, it's a club because
Oh,
it's got
yeah,
captains.
they always did have the club card. Though,
Yeah,
didn't
they
they?
did.
Who did everyone get?
Trippier. So shit.
I'll go Aubameyang.
I got a Kanji for Dortmund. Man of the match, actually.
Boss
So,
Snoot today.
I
My
got
pack look on these.
I got Club Legend. That's the best one I got. All the rest.
Right,
were
it's your
crap.
turn, John. Pick a stat.
I mean, like,
Can't believe we're playing Match Attax on a podcast.
right, okay.
What is life?
Everyone's
At
going to want
20
to get
years
on
old.
this now.
Yeah, this is the thing now.
Defence.
See True Geordie and all that.
Defence Trippier 75.
Right, I got a Kanji 88.
Just blow me out the water. But okay.
Arias 79.
Ashley Young, 72.
What actually like
Ashley-
almost has.
What's
as
his
good
attack, by the
defence
way?
as Trippier.
62.
That's shambolic, that is.
Yeah.
What's he rated then? 4-star? Wait, have they got the
Have they got
4-star
stars?
rating?
Has he got
Yeah.
stars?
They haven't even got the stars.
It's 5
they've
million euros.
They've got all.
Oh, I don't like this.
6 million euros.
This isn't the
It
same.
was so much more simple when we
Yeah.
were kids.
Yeah,
you
this
got
is
two
crap.
stats and you got 2 stats and a star number.
I know that
Just
was
not the same,
days.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't have that feel anymore. I think
No.
it was that whole.
It's even the feel of the cards, they feel cheap.
Yeah, it's simple. When we grew up, it went down in quality, didn't it?
Like I said, they just seem small, don't they?
Yeah.
There was
Right,
something.
pick a stat again, Connor. We'll just do it until they're all done.
Attack.
Has everyone got 2 cards left, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I haven't put my cards away. Right. Trippier's gone. Lacazette's gone. He's gone.
Attack, yeah.
And Bellerin's gone. I've only got Jota left.
Right, so I'm screwed with this. I'm going to go for Jason Denayer, 33 attack.
What was your attack?
I'm using Mahrez 82.
Well, yeah, I'm out 76.
I'll go
Jota.
I put my Yang 87.
Nice, bad job there.
Oh.
Winner. Is that it now? I'm out
Last-
anyway.
Have we got last card?
I've got one last card, yeah.
My last card gone.
Is it?
My cards. Yeah, because I lost every single round. Lost every round.
So if you win, you get to keep the card. Is that?
I don't know what happened.
Because
Well, isn't it you lose, you surely give the card away?
Everyone we've used, I've just put them in a pile.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
well, I've only got Nacho Monreal.
Right, so I'll go defence then. De Vrij.
Inter.
Yeah, the Inter
Yeah.
defender, yeah. 80 defence.
Oh.
Bernardo Silva 64.
And then, have you not got a card
I've
then?
not
Did you
got a
have
card
one less
left.
than us?
No, I had the same amount of cards, just I lost
Oh,
them to
yeah.
every round.
And
so-
you got like all the agent cards. And
Yeah,
that,
I got all the shitty agent cards and free digital
Oh yeah, you
pack.
got an 8. That was the card. That was what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, and I got a free digital pack, which I'm like. not
So
gonna
basically,
use.
out of like a pack and a half, I got a 100 club and a man of the match.
Man, I wish I had that sort of luck. when
Should
I
we
was a
give away
kid.
the 100 club to anyone listening?
Who's gonna
What if someone like?
Do you reckon? I don't
likes
know our
and comments
demographic in
then?
terms of age,
No.
but like
Let's
You imagine if someone was-
target a good audience.
there could be
here.
a major Liverpool fan
Yeah.
who wants that.
keep it safe?
Do it as a giveaway. Like
Yeah, I
and
think we should.
subscribe. Then.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
free match.
42 of them. They're all our mates.
250 listens. Just
Should we do it on our Instagram? Just share it. Take a
Did
picture.
you share
of
the
it.
story of us playing football?
Yeah,
What was that on?
Oh, you put it on Facebook.
Instagram, and
didn't
then went on Facebook, and I put it on my Snapchat as well. What is it with Snapchat quality, by the way, with video?
Oh, yeah.
Mine's shocking.
Shocking, yeah.
you? I don't post stories on Snapchat, really, to be honest. I just, I
Take
don't-
photos of your feet and
Pretty much.
with the caption.
I take photos, like, I just go like.
Well, I've seen you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it today when I was with you.
Right, so at 20 years old, I can say I've just played Match Attax on a podcast.
I feel like we've completed
I think
the podcast
we
now.
have.
Is
Yeah.
this the final
How
episode
much
then,
further
is it?
can you go like
Yeah.
than that?
I think that's a good way to end.
Panini stickers aren't the same.
Oh,
That's a shout.
That's
Yeah.
debatable. Panini. I grew up with Match Attax, so I'm a Match Attax person.
I think I had stickers first, and then when these came out, I was like, wow.
They never did Premier League Panini though when we were kids, did they?
So,
It was
they
Match Attax.
re-released them or something.
They are
didn't
doing it for the
Yeah.
first time.
Do
since
you
the
like the
90s.
fact that this is like all of Europe clubs?
No.
I liked it when it was just Prem.
I liked it,
Yeah.
it was just Prem simple.
It was
Because I swear you
simple,
could
yeah.
get the separate Champions League cards if you wanted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah, if you really wanted to. But does anyone remember the World Cup ones?
They were as good, did they?
No.
No. Was John Terry 100 club on that? I can't
Remember Fabio Cannavaro? I had it.
Yeah.
That's all I really remember from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we cover some fixtures then? Because obviously the international break has basically ended now. Should we do a prediction? Should we go out with a prediction?
Go on then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
Go
Let's
on.
do that.
So we got Prem.
Yeah. So Liverpool versus Newcastle.
3-0 Liverpool.
Do you think?
Yeah. Easy Liverpool win.
I can see Newcastle giving it some.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
don't-
tough, isn't it?
yeah.
Against a side that counter-attacks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way of stopping them at all, really. Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
No. Not at Anfield as well.
Nah.
So John, you're going 3-0.
3-0. Yeah.
Don't know what I'm saying. 3-1. I think they'll get a goal.
Yeah.
What about you, Connor?
3-0, 3-1.
Around that?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 3-0, but I won't be surprised if Newcastle grab
Got
a
a
goal.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at Liverpool so far this
Can you
season.
imagine if they won 1-0?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
If they did it again, they did it to Tottenham
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Liverpool. That'd be quite funny.
They just become this season's giant killers.
Yeah.
Steve Bruce and the sausage rolls.
It does look like a sausage roll, doesn't it?
It's that one with the.
He looks like a sausage
Does
roll.
that? I think it's. Is it at Wigan or something like that? He's there at the stadium like that, but someone photoshopped a sausage roll. And he's
Yeah,
on-
that's brilliant. Who hasn't he managed?
Oh, I know. Yeah. Been around, hasn't he?
Very happy to say my club has not had Steve Bruce.
Not yet.
I was just
Yeah.
going to go on to Man United versus Leicester.
What do you think of Man United Leicester then? Nervous for that one? Tough game.
Yeah. Could see Leicester winning it, not going to lie.
Need
I
to
think
win,
we've-
Man United do.
We've lost a lot of confidence. We're looking shaky. Going forward, we panic. You know, there's options, but we don't see them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Martial's back for that game.
I rate Martial a lot. I think Man United will win this one.
Could see a 2-1, to be honest.
Yeah, I said 2. I'm thinking 2-1 because I think that they're due a win now. Like they've dropped too many points. I think they need to.
But
get
Leicester,
3
like,
points.
They kind of are top 6 challengers, aren't they?
Yeah,
this
they
season,
definitely
anyway.
I think they'll challenge, for the top 6. But I think they'll miss. I think they're still a bit off top 6 yet. But I think They're certainly a strong side. I mean, the amount of money they've spent, they should be really, to be honest. I mean, like 30 million on Perez, 40 million on Tielemans. I mean, that should have been a red card as well, that Tielemans challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Should have been. That was a ridiculous challenge. But yeah, I'll go 2-1 Man United. Just about. I could see Leicester getting a result. Could see Leicester getting a result.
At Old Trafford, yeah.
It's Old Trafford, yeah.
By the way, have you guys had any bets on
1-1.
Premier League football yet?
Quite a few, yeah.
Oh,
Have
Jake's
you?
quite the gambler, yeah.
Quite the gambler, yes.
Yeah.
Have you won anything from it?
Nothing at all so far.
My granddad is like proper into betting on football, and he's actually, I was asking him like the other day, he hasn't put any bets on so far.
No.
Says the season's just too unpredictable for him.
Well, so far I think I've had a few bets. I've had this week's EFL games and last week's Premier League games. I was one goal off about 100 quid on both.
Were you?
Yeah, I've been fuming.
Oh
on both.
man, it always hurts. That does.
Oh, yeah.
Man United let me down when they lost at home to Palace.
I know that's the trouble with us. We got results that you just don't expect.
I'll just put them down as one of the bankers, and I think I put some outside field ones that came through, but yeah, Man United let me down.
I thought we were going to nick that at Palace. I thought we were going to go and score another late winner.
Well, when that Dan James put it 1-1, I was like, yeah, Man United might just get Mallorca through.
Because momentum, you could see, went our way.
But it was only an 8-fold. I only put £1 on, so I was like only getting like 70 quid return. But yeah,
let's go on to Sheffield United
still
versus
decent.
Southampton then. I think I'm going to say Sheffield United.
Sheffield United 2-0.
These
Really
are the games
impressed
that
with
Sheffield
them.
United have to win, really.
Oh yeah,
These are
definitely
definitely the Sheffield United games they have to win. Yeah. I thought that was a really good result at Chelsea for them,
Yeah.
and I think when I watched Southampton at Turf Moor, I thought they were absolutely shocking.
I mean,
especially
think of the
defensively.
confidence they'll take from that Chelsea result.
Yeah, definitely.
2-0 down.
Being
as well.
2-0 down and almost that. People wrote them off really at that. They were out of the game.
Plus, they've had
So-
rest since then because they haven't got many internationals,
No,
have they?
exactly.
Well, yeah, it really reminded me of when a few seasons ago we were 2-0 down at City and we brought that back to 2-2. I just remember that the jubilation after that game was amazing. So I can't imagine what it would be like for Sheffield United.
Really brings like the fans and the team together. Really, results
Oh,
like
it
that
does,
can
yeah.
do, yeah.
Like City were champions at the time that happened as well. That was a mad result.
Yeah.
And then I think the next game we lost at home to Swansea, classic Burnley. But
I could see a 2-0 Sheffield United.
Yeah. Southampton are a poor
Or
side.
at least a 1-0 anyway.
Yeah.
I think they'll struggle, Southampton, this season. Although they got a good result against Man United, but how much was that Man United chucking that away?
Yeah, exactly. May as well just sit down and let the opposition score.
Now Connor's a bit of a expert on Sheffield United, aren't you?
No.
Didn't think so.
Speaking of them though, they're kind of touching on a new tactic, aren't they? Have you heard about their overlapping centre backs?
Who's that, Sheffield United?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, so the three at the back, they almost like operate as wing backs. They're pretty
I
wide.
thought
and
they played quite long ball.
but they
Maybe
overlap
that's just me
and
assuming
find
because
themselves
it's
in
Chris
like
Wilder. I just look at Chris Wilder and think, yeah, he's long forward.
yeah.
But no,
He's your typical like Sheffield type of man, isn't he?
Carling drinker.
Yeah. Like even in the press conferences, he doesn't bear fear of dropping his players in it, does he? He's like
no.
I rate that though. I really like him, Chris Wilder. Like
He says
he's
how it
straight
is.
talking,
It's-
isn't
yeah,
I
it's-
really like him. I think he's a really good manager.
I'd imagine those.
I want Sheffield
players-
United to stay up this season. I think they will.
Same, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. All three sides that have come up, I wouldn't be surprised if all of them stay up. to
Yeah.
be
I
honest.
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think Norwich could because they have a goal scorer.
Who do you think
Yeah.
will go
I
down?
really admire Norwich this season, though. Really do.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the football that they're playing.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
because they've got that, because Pucky's such a goal scorer, they have a really good chance.
Yeah.
But it's
like-
just the defence that might let them down.
Is he in everyone's fantasy team, by the way?
Still
Well,
Barnes.
I
Is it in?
didn't start with him, and I was about to put him in last week, and then he didn't score, so thankfully I didn't.
Yeah,
But
I
I put him in. I
Yeah.
think it was after the Chelsea
yeah,
game. Yeah.
fair play.
Yeah.
He'll be in soon, I'd imagine, because I mean they haven't got many other goal scorers around the side, so
No.
they are going to be reliant
And
on
again,
him at
in this
times.
international break, he's just scored, hasn't he,
Yeah,
for Finland? So
But yeah,
he's carrying it on.
I
Mm.
think.
Join the elites then with Michu and
He is. He's going
Do you
be
think
one
he
of
is
them,
going to
isn't
be a one season? Well, you can't say he's one season, really, can you? You could say he's
No.
one season in the Prem.
One season in the Prem.
if he carries this form on anyway.
He's going to join Meach.
But technically he's like-
Cruz,
He's done it in the Championship as well, this kind of
Yeah.
form.
Wilfred Bonney.
Yeah.
You know.
He's training with like a League Two team. Or
What was
something.
happening there? He was training with Newport, and
Yeah.
hasn't he moved to Turkey now or something? I'm going to double check that.
that. God knows.
I
what
swear he's got a
happened
club
with
now.
Bonnie. I remember when Stoke signed him, and loads of Stoke fans like got him on loan. And Stoke fans were like, "Oh, he's the striker we always asked for." I think he literally scored 1 goal for Stoke. Wilfred Bonny did.
He was shambolic, yeah. I think he's still a free agent.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about relegation yet. I haven't really made my mind up. It's
Yeah,
been so unpredictable.
it
like,
has, yeah.
That I don't know. Like,
It's just when you think
Such an
teams like-
exciting season.
Yeah. Teams like Newcastle, you look at and you think they ain't got much in them, and then they go and pull out a result like they did
I
at
know,
Tottenham,
yeah.
and you're a bit
I know,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay,
well, I remember I saw that result at Tottenham, and they battered Watford.
yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, they might just have enough to stay up, maybe, but
Watford, they could be in real danger. I think
they
sacking
could.
the manager was such a kind of rash
Oh,
move
yeah.
on their point. I
Why
mean,
the hell
when you
did
think of
they
what
sack
Javi
him?
Gracia did for them last year, yeah, they fell off towards the end of the year. But you got to look at West Ham's start last year. They lost all 4 games,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
they stuck with Pellegrini, came 10th. There's nothing to worry about with the first. You're early on in the season.
well, we last season we had our worst start in a top flight season since pre-World War One, and okay, it wasn't the best season,
Yeah.
but considering we were in the Europa League, we've stayed up with 40 points. We'll take that.
Yeah.
That's what Watford should think, but I mean they've got back a guy they sacked before, and they
Yeah,
sacked him for getting 13th in an FA Cup semi-final in their first season in the Premier League. I mean, like, Watford deserve to go down for that. The way they sack managers.
Is
left,
it
right,
much
and
of a
centre.
risk, though? Because they've had him before, haven't they?
Yeah. You'll
They know what
they'll
they're getting with
again,
him.
Yeah.
You'll know what they're getting, but he's a manager that they've sacked. I mean, like, there's not really going to be much trust level there, is there? Again, and he hasn't really done much since he left Watford.
It's a bold move this early on,
It is,
anyway.
yeah.
I mean, the Javi Gracia is probably one of their best ever managers. He took them to FA Cup
He was
final.
linked with Chelsea, weren't he?
Mm.
Yeah,
I think they've always been pretty rash with managerial decisions. They went through that one season where they went through about 3, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
rid of was he the Bright? What was he called? The Bright. He used to be Brighton manager, didn't he? Oh, I forgot his name. Portuguese.
Can't think of it now.
Speaking of Brighton, though, Brighton versus Burnley.
Yeah, take a point from this. I think.
I think any
Yeah.
away point you can pick up is
I think
better than that.
I think my mentality with games outside the top 6 is home. I'm looking for 3 points in every home game against people outside the top 6. But like depending on how the game goes, you take a point. And with away games, I'd always take a point everywhere, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, definitely. And a win's an absolute bonus. I have a feeling this is a game we could get unstuck with, though. I don't know. I'm going to go with 1-1. I'll go 1-1. I think we might get a draw. We could
Yeah,
win
I could
it.
see
but
that.
I don't know. We've got a good
Barnes
record
with the
there.
goal.
We've got a really good record there. I mean, like I think they haven't beaten us in like 7 years, but that just means they're going to win. So I don't want to say that too much. But yeah, I think I'll go 1-1. We got a good record there, so I think we should maintain that. We got a really good win there last season as well. I think we won 3-1 there last season, I think. Yeah.
On to Wolves then. Wolves versus Chelsea.
I could see us going anyway.
Yeah, it'd be a juicy
really
game
can't-
then.
Yeah, I really can't call it at all. You can make cases for a Wolves win, Chelsea win, draw all the way through. Really,
I think you're going to score against them. That's a given.
Yeah, if we don't score, I'll be
If they
worried,
keep a
really,
clean
'cause-
sheet,
Yeah,
I'd be shocked.
yeah.
I think
But
Wolves will
I've
win.
also got the theory that they're going to score against
I
us
think
as well.
they
'cause
could,
we're
yeah.
without Bolly, and I mean he's our best centre back by
Yeah.
a country mile. So that's going to shake us up defensively, and with the way that they're attacking at the minute.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
shift Dendonka into centre back, can't you?
I'd
He's
be
so
tempted
versatile.
to do that. Yeah, Vallejo's been on the bench to start the season, so he can come
That's
in.
a quality signing.
Yeah,
though.
he's looked good so far. He had the one home game against Torino where for 45 minutes he looked a little bit shaky, but once he got into his rhythm, he was fine. But I think I'd take a point now, but we kind of really need to start getting wins on the board. We're 4 games in, no win. If it keeps on going longer, you know what fans are like, especially Wolves fans. They've got the least amount of patience out of any fans in the league, really. I think.
It's one of them because you've got European football, so
Yeah.
you knew that you were going to take a hit in the league, didn't
definitely. And I'd say anything like a 13th place in a decent Europa League run would be a successful
you?
season
Yeah,
for us.
it would.
As much as it looks like a massive drop from last year, that Europa League experience that we'll get will be massive. Because I can't see us keeping older players like Neves much longer. I think.
Don't you think so?
No, I think Neves. I could see this being his last year, especially if he has a good year and we don't get far in Europe, if we don't do as well in the league, then he's a player ready for the Champions League and all that. He's ready for it. Tomkinson's in the last year of his contract. So.
I could see though, I could see Wolves challenging for top 4.
The ambition at the club
in
is there.
three years, something like that.
The
100%
ambition's
I could.
there because the owners came in and their plan was to get us promoted within 3 years. That happened in 2. Then they wanted us to get into Europe within 3 years of returning to the Prem. That happened in 1. And then it was like a 10-year overall span. They wanted to get us in the Champions League and towards the top. So we're already ahead of the game in that.
Yeah.
They've got long-term aims. I just think we've got to really now, solidify ourselves in Europe, prove that we are good enough to compete at that level.
Can you imagine the scenes if you won it?
Oh, that would be unreal.
I'd be crying as a United because again we're in that competition.
Yeah. I mean, you just never thought this was going to happen really to a club like Wolves. You watch us through the years of watching George Saville and Lee Evans in midfield, and then 2 seasons later watching João Moutinho and Ruben Neves, Dendoncker just controlling it. It's a bit surreal, really.
I bet it is, yeah.
Sometimes you do just have to kind of just give yourself a quick slap and realise that this is real.
Yeah.
I thought that when we got into the Europa League, and I mean we didn't make it to the proper group stage, but when we were away at Olympiacos, this massive historic ground, there's 50,000 Greek fans making loads of noise. I was thinking, wow, we're out of this game. I was thinking, Jesus Christ, I remember playing Peterborough in the snow. Watching Peterborough draw 1-1 at home at Peterborough in the snow because of a J. Rodriguez wonder solo run, and now we've got to this. I think Wolves have had a much more rapid they had a decline and then a rapid ascent more than
There's been a lot of planning in this though, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has.
They know what they're doing.
But I think us and Wolves have come on leaps and roundabouts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think getting relegated from the Premier League back in 2012 era was probably the best thing that actually did happen to us. It allowed us to kind of fall back, and then it was the double relegation, League One, rebuild there, kind of produce ourselves back as like a forward-thinking club, because heading down to League One we were looking
I remember,
we were looking destined
like
for
I said,
failure.
I remember being at the game when it was the Burnley one. That was a 6-pointer, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was toxic as hell. That was.
Because we were us and Wolves were both fighting relegation, and we won it. And I remember the pitch invasions and stuff, and I remember saying
fans destroying the dugout and everything.
I remember thinking this could be the end for Wolves. Like this could be like Portsmouth situation because they were really struggling financially as well. I was like, God,
yeah. So to see where they are now,
crazy.
It is mad.
Kenny Jackett started all that turnaround with just solid League One manager that he knew what he was doing. He knew we'd still got the funds that were bigger than probably most League One clubs, if not all, at the time. We were still able to buy players for 1 million, 2 million, I think somewhere. So we were still coming into League One with that big club kind of mentality, but there was still that theory of we could easily drop 13th, 14th this season. It'll just be another unsuccessful year. But to think that year happened, we had a good year in the Championship, then a couple of duff years, then the owners came in.
It's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, they just clicked it straight away. Like the first year with the owners was average. Because obviously we've got the links with Jorge Mendes, we can't deny it. There is something there. He initially brought in a load of players, and the only ones that were really good were Sace, Cavallero, and Costa. The rest of them were all dog shit. I think he kind of underestimated the league. Thought he could just get Wolves into the Premier League by just signing a load of these players that had, got decent experience. But then he, changed it around the next year, signing Ruben Neves in the Championship. I mean, there's no other club really that was like a massive signing.
I could not believe when Ruben Neves went to Wolves. Because I remember the day well, and I was like, oh my God.
There'd been the links, and everyone was just like, no, not happening.
Because it was a brave decision for Neves to move into the second division of English football.
Big decision. I mean, like Wolves could have, like Jake said, they had a plan for 3 years. They could have maybe not had the greatest season that season. Yeah. Like I remember, I thought Wolves would, win the Championship that year, especially when they got Neves. But loads of people were saying, this will take Nuno time to build, and they'll probably finish mid-table this season, and then they'll rocket the next season. So it was a brave decision for him. He was captain of Porto as well, I think.
It just shows, though, that plan that they had full confidence in it.
Yeah,
and he did as well to sign for him.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing is, there's all talk of this project and all that, and all these players are joining because of their seeing, a bright future with this project. If you look at players like Rui Patricio when joining the Premier League, even then you'd still have your doubts of joining a newly promoted Premier League side. Jean Moutinho, you know, he might be coming to the end of his career, but he's still class. Like
he could
still
he could
walk
play for
into
top
any,
six.
Yeah, he could walk into any team. Well, not any team, you know, Liverpool, City.
Debatable, yeah,
but teams like
I think he'd be amazing at Man United.
Arsenal and stuff like that, United as well. I think he just complements players so well. But it's just a bit. It is just surreal. Like this year, it could be a bit of a reality check Premier League wise, but I mean, we'll just be enjoying the ride really. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
You'd
it's
have taken
exciting times.
17th last year.
Oh
And he
yeah,
got seventh.
I mean yeah, that was the thing. I think a lot of people saw how much we'd signed, and then you got to realise Fulham signed. They spent more than us. There is that reality check of this is the Premier League. We may have signed all these players, but it might not click instantly.
Yeah,
We've still got that with the Villa, haven't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Villa. I think they'll be fine. I think they've got enough
Yeah, I
quality
think
in
they'll
there.
survive.
But there is that kind of. It's going to be a little bit of a.
It'd be funny if they were the new Fulham.
It would.
Quite
I
funny.
would laugh, but I think they will. They'll click eventually. You're starting to see them. They're playing well, really. At Tottenham away, they caused them troubles, and they could have easily scored a couple more. But
Yeah, I agree.
games like the Everton at home game where they beat them 2-0.
They were very
They
comfortable.
dominated from minute one pretty much.
And they were down to 10 men at Palace and probably, definitely should have got a result from that. They were robbed there at the end with that VAR decision.
Yeah. That was funny though, to be fair.
But yeah, I think it only goes up from here
Yeah,
for Wolves.
hopefully.
You'd expect, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I think they'll have a bit of stagnation at the moment, but I think
There always
that's-
is with the
that's
integration of
because
European
yeah,
football.
that's because the rise is so rapid.
You saw it with Burnley as well.
I did,
Yeah,
I
you've
did.
got-
Well, I remember, when we that seventh season was out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere. Everyone thought again we were going to go down. Like I think last season was the only season nobody thought we'd go down before a season. Like this season, quite a lot of backed us to go down. Not as much as previous seasons. I think most people still think we'll stay up. But like last season, literally was the first time I've ever seen everyone not think Burnley would go down. Because of that seventh season, everyone thought we'd go down that seventh season because we'd lost Keane. We'd lost Keane, we'd lost Andre Gray, who was seen as our two best players, but somehow got seventh and pretty easily as well. It is frustrating because if we were a little bit more consistent throughout the season, I reckon we'd have got top six. Because I remember I came out of Crystal Palace away when we lost 1-0, and that was just a horrible, horrible away day in every sense. And I can't believe I'm saying this now, but I remember saying to my granddad, if we're going to break into the top six this season, we've got to be winning games like this. So that was, but it really came down hard last season when we were awful for the first half of the season. I remember thinking, yeah, classic Burnley this is. We think we're on to something good and then we're going to go down the next season.
I think the reason why both of us did get 7th consecutive seasons is that stability, that
I
that
agree.
same 11 or,
Very similar
very
in
little
that
changes.
sense.
There's something to be said, isn't there,
Yeah,
for that?
yeah. If you find an 11 that works, stick with it.
Like we pretty much play the same 11 every week, and we did when we finished 7th, and we had the same system. We played 4-5-1 when we finished 7th, so we'd have a 3-man midfield that would smother and press teams off the park and keep the ball, and then we'd play out wide and put crosses in the box to people like Wood and Vokes and Barnes later on in the season.
And you look at that formula, Sheffield United haven't made too many signings, have they?
No, they haven't.
It's roughly the same squad.
Yeah, same with Norwich as well.
Exactly.
Norwich, you keep a tight-knit
with
group.
it.
It often works, especially if it's working well already. I mean, it's just when you add pressure like the Europa League, that's what I think. I get, like, we didn't go far at all in the competition, but we had the early pre-season start, starting in July, and we played 3 two-legged ties, and they were all tough games. Like Aberdeen, okay, they're not the best side in the world, but for a first round game, that's a tough game. Istanbul Başakşehir, who were the Turkish champions, that was a really tough game. And then Olympiakos are Olympiakos. I mean, they're always going to be a pretty decent side. It's an intimidating ground, and they're long journeys as well, and it takes a lot out of you. And I think that's ultimately what did us. And as well, I think we did get a bit, arrogant and a bit complacent, and I think we kind of thought we were above the relegation fight. And it
does come back, doesn't it, and hits you hard.
Yeah, it does, and we really missed. Our midfield was poor the first half of the season, but because what we'd always do is bypass the midfield and just lump it long, which is not usually what, like, we have a reputation for being long ball, but like we're not that long ball. Like when we're playing well, we play through the middle, and when we play badly is when we're playing long ball. But that's what we were doing that first half of the season. But I feel like we've made really good progress since that hiccup, and I think we've started this season pretty well, to be fair. Like, I think we should be on 6 points with that Wolves game, but if we're being completely and utterly fair, if you'd have said to me, out of Southampton at home, Arsenal away, Wolves away, Liverpool at home, you've got 4 points, I'd have bit your hand off. I think that's a good start.
Yeah, it's not a bad start at all.
I think that's a good way to wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, we do need that prediction though. So we said it'd go either way. I see 2-2 Wolves versus Chelsea.
I could easily see that. Two teams at the minute defensively are struggling.
I'll go with 1-1 Wolves Chelsea.
Right,
See Wolves winning that then. Tough one.
1-0 Wolves or 1-1.
Do you think? Yeah.
I don't think Chelsea are very good.
And then Tottenham versus Crystal Palace is what we'll wrap up with.
2-1 Tottenham.
2-0 Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-0.
I'm going to go 2-1. I think they'll get a goal, Palace.
Yeah. They are pretty good going forward, to be fair to them.
they
I
are.
think Spurs haven't got that confidence this season.
No, they bottled that game against Arsenal, didn't they?
Ndombele's going to be massive for them in front of the defence. He's really going to assure them at times.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I think we got quite deep into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we already
in
did.
that second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Match Attax.
can you believe we started with Match Attax and ended on that? And there goes the final whistle. If you want to have your say, email us on talkballpodcast@gmail.com or follow our Facebook page and join our community. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. If you crave even more football chat, subscribe to us on YouTube for some additional football content. And we'll see you in the next one.